Hi, Editing Beth here. I just wanted to give you a safe heads up that this video does talk about a problem that I had several months ago where there were bugs on my bookshelf. If that is enough to tell you that this isn't a video for you right now, you have my full permission and support to go watch something else. If you ever need it, this video will be here for you, and I've got your back. I have lots of other videos, book reviews and TBRs and all that good stuff for you to enjoy, and I will see you in one of those. If you are having this problem, I hope that this video is helpful to you, or if you just want the peace of mind of knowing things that you can do, if you ever have a crisis on your bookshelf, you can keep watching. I will see you soon. This is going on week 2 of my bookshelves having bugs on them. They have been infested with book lice. 2 weeks ago, I decided to do some organizing and cleaning. I took all the books out of these built-in shelves that are on the sides of the fireplace, started to dust the shelves, and my cloth came away gray. You could even say black. I thought, that's not good. I wonder if it's soot buildup from when the fireplace actually functioned. So I started to feel bad because I thought maybe I should have done this a long time ago, and how did it get this bad? So I pulled the books out, I stacked them up, and then I cleaned the shelves. I did it one shelf at a time because I figured I would need to let it dry before I put the books back on the shelf. It wasn't until a few days later, I don't even know what order this happened in, but I feel like I had seen something about book bugs, specifically what damage they've done. I don't know if it's just a normal anxiety trigger for something that you care about, but that made me want to go and look at my books and make sure there wasn't any bugs crawling on them. So I took out my phone light, I shone it on the books that are on my freestanding shelf, and I saw bugs crawling over some of my books. It has honestly been one of the biggest anxiety causing things that has happened to me in a while, and I don't know, when things happen that unsettle me to this degree, I think deeply about, is this a good reminder that these are just objects and this is just stuff and it is temporary, and even if I take the very best care of it, it's not going to last forever. So am I putting too much attention on these things? You can say, oh, that's too much to put on it, but I like to give myself pause to think about such things because that actually makes life more meaningful for me. So I've had to kind of do that on the regular, remind myself that if everything goes absolutely south and I can't find a way to fix this on my own, it's still going to be okay. I can still, if I had to get rid of all of my books, I could still read. Using Libby, I could still borrow books from the library, but I think my biggest fear factor was just how do we get these taken care of so that they aren't in our house forever. The two main causes my extensive research has brought me was moisture and mold. So obviously extra moisture in your home can cause mold to grow, and book lice in particular love mold. Someone's take was that they're trying to do your books a favor by eating the mold out of the book so that it's not on your paper anymore, but they do eat the paper when they do that, so it's not the most helpful. Mold got on my books. Book lice came to have a snack. How did they get to the shelf that is out in the middle of the room that is not affected by things in the walls? When I reshuffled some of the books that were in these shelves to that shelf, it got contaminated. My husband has been an amazing support through all of this, even on days when I'm just panicked and in tears. His advice was that we handle this in a systematic way. Here are the things that we're trying and hoping will pay off in the end. We started the process of freezing them to kill the bugs and any eggs within the books, and we needed a place to put the books afterward that was not in piles on the floor because that is a risky location for them. We wanted it to be a bookshelf. So decided to get a bookshelf from IKEA, and Jeff drove out, got it, built it the next day. Every other day I take out the load of books that have been in the freezer in Ziploc bags and let them dry out on a tablecloth on the table, and then I flip through the pages to shake anything out and then house those on that safety shelf. The goal is to get all the books cycled through the freezer onto that control shelf. Freezing the books, that has been our first step, getting a safety location for them to go to when they are clean. Third is getting a dehumidifier for our apartment, because the whole reason that mold was growing is because the humidity level is much too high. We have moisture somewhere building up, the hotter temps we've been having lately, and the rainy days. Things that I have tried so far: I have vacuumed, I have put down diatomaceous earth. It's so few and far between when I use that stuff. You really just want to grab something very tiny. I'm using the lid of a candle. Just take a little bit of that powder out and put it on a line on the floor, kind of like a barrier for whatever you're trying to keep away. Don't want it to just be tossed into the air. It's not great to vacuum because of it will just cloud up. It's basically like tiny pieces of fossil. It's not good for you to breathe. So if you are putting that down, I would highly recommend wearing protection. My plan for cleaning all of that up is to wet it and then wipe it up. That's the best way to get rid of it. If you are a houseplant girly like me, initially my thought was I probably want to move my plants away because bugs. I thought plants produce humidity, but some kinds do, some decrease it. An English ivy plant, a spider plant, or pothos plants, those are all great natural dehumidifiers. You can start to put those plants in the area that you want to decrease moisture and see if that improves things just a little bit. So you've heard the question, if your house is on fire, which books would you save? Because I have to be strategic about how many books I can fit in the freezer every other day, I'm trying to save my more expensive or books that I have annotated. So I'm finding that I have to mentally prioritize. From what I've seen so far, the damage is very minimal, and I will probably do some cleanup on the books that were impacted by moisture. Every other day I have the choice of which ones to put in, and then I think what I'm enjoying the most is taking them out of the freezer, because it almost feels like having a book haul because I have all these books that were in a tenuous situation and they have been rescued, and I can put them on the safety shelf. We have been checking that safety shelf regularly as well, just to make sure it hasn't been recontaminated, but as far as we know, no bugs have gotten to that area, and I think that the problem is pretty much just these guys. So that's my update for now. If you are experiencing this problem or something similar to it, if you'd like to leave a comment with something that you tried that is working or has worked in the past, because when I was trying to do research on this, I was kind of shocked there were no other videos on YouTube from booktubers who had experienced this. There's really no shame about it, and I think if anyone else is going through a similar struggle, know that you're not alone, and you don't need to spiral. You don't need to go through Reddit threads, because that will just discourage you. Try some simple steps and see if your situation improves. That is all for now, and I will report back soon. So I think it's time to give you another update about how the Booklice situation is going back on the home front. We're still in the process of defrosting my books in batches to put them back on the shelves. And then I've been also like cleaning them very thoroughly when they come out and they've dried. Got some, I think it's 220 grit sandpaper. And if you have any paperbacks starting to get foxing, which is kind of like that weathered, slightly yellow or gray look, you can gently file down the text block, so like the entire foredge, the top and the bottom, just by gently dragging your book across the sheet of sandpaper. And it doesn't harm your book at all. If you do it gently but firmly, it shouldn't catch on the cover or anything. That's what you want to watch out for. But that's been something that I'd never known about before, never tried before, so I feel like I'm already learning new things from this experience, horrible though it has been. I would love to learn that things are starting to change just purely by having a dehumidifier in our apartment, but my thought is maybe we are in between life cycles right now of this infestation. I'd like to think otherwise, but I don't know. So it's gently raining now. It's been so heavily muggy outside today. Our dehumidifier has been kind of struggling to get it below 50 today. In consequence, perspective of what's going on my channel right now, I created a tier list video of every book that I read so far this year. Typically when I do those, they're just so long and they take forever to edit down to a reasonable size. So I decided to try and just do the tier list aspect of it on its own, and then I will do a voiceover, and hopefully that will free me up to not worry about how long it is. So we're gonna head home. I'm going to film that, hopefully post it today. I'm feeling very positive about my consistency in posting twice a week, and I want to keep that up. Final update as I'm editing this video. It's like the end of August, so we're a few months down the road. We've been running the dehumidifier every day. We have to empty it twice, 3 or 4 times on the most humid days. I think that that has made the biggest difference. I have not seen bugs crawling since, I don't know, maybe like the mid-July, end of July. I'd be lying if I said that I'm not nervous about going on vacation and not being able to run the dehumidifier while we're gone, but at the same time, I've not had any issues with the new shelf that Jeff built. I think that the problem is solved. I don't know if it's ever going to be completely solved in this house, to be honest with you, but I feel confident that I know how to handle it, and I'm hoping that that's what this video does for you. And if this isn't a problem that you're actively dealing with and you were just watching this because you were curious what was going on with my house and my books, I would recommend starting to freeze books that you purchase. It's just a really smart safeguard against this happening in your library. Put it in a Ziploc bag, and you don't have to do 2 days in the freezer like I did. You can just do 24 hours for something that you just hauled. I highly recommend it because there are other pests that can travel in books, and that just makes absolutely certain that you're not bringing in anything into your house and your library that you don't want to be there. From the bottom of my heart, I hope that you never have to have this problem, but if you do, just know that it's going to be okay, and you're not going to always feel the same level of anxiety about this happening. Please let me know what you thought about this video, and had not seen any others like this on YouTube, and I really hope that it helps at least one person. I wish you the best if you're going through this right now. It will get better. It might take a month or 2 though, so just be patient, trust the process, be consistent and systematic. Okay, you got this. I'll see you in another video that is less stressful soon.